Hi, I'm Shayla, and I'm going to talk today about the emotion side of exercise. I just this morning had gone to like an oil club meeting that we had. Sorry, my dog's going to be bothering us, I think. He needs my attention. I had gone to an oil club meeting this morning, and it's talked a little bit about the emotion side of our exercise and the oils that we use when we exercise and how they help us emotionally. So I thought I'd do a quick video on those things. I'm going to start with why we exercise and then talk about what it does for our brain to exercise and does for our bodies, and then talk about the oils we use and how they help us emotionally. So why do we exercise or set goals to exercise? Many times it's because our doctor has told us that we need more exercise, or we have a New Year's resolution to exercise more, to lose weight, for self-care, to get in shape. All of those things are great reasons to exercise. And we do them because we know it's good for us in the long run, right? It's good for us and better for us to exercise. Well, the reason for that is because it increases our heart rate. So that gives us our heart is starting to pump more, and it's getting more oxygen to our brain, which is going to help our brain function better. It helps our brain to process information better, and it helps our brain remember things better. So it helps our memory function, and it helps our processing. Exercise also releases tons and tons of great hormones that help with the growth of new brain cells when we're releasing those hormones. And it stimulates the brain plasticity. And by doing that, one of the greatest things about it is there's the new connections between the cells when our brain is able to have that plasticity, that ability to continue to move the neurons moving throughout the brain better. And so it's creating new connections between the cells, and it's working in a way that helps like the runner's high. People talk about the runner's high when you have reached a certain distance of running and you get to that point where you're just like, yes, this is amazing. I'm feeling great about myself. When that happens, we have a drop in our stress hormones. And the reason that's happening is because new cells are being regenerated and new cells are being made because of that great exercise. He's very excited about the video. So when we have a drop in our stress hormones, that also then creates more cell growth in our hippocampus. When our hippocampus part of our brain is where the learning and the memory takes place. Exercise also works as an antidepressant. So it's with the releasing of those hormones that's helping to get rid of some of those depressive cells and be beneficial for us, right? So the best way to have some brain health workouts is to integrate different parts of the brain as you're working out. So you want to include coordination, you want to include rhythm and strategy into your workouts. Like running, you're just running and you just continue to run, and at a point it becomes almost like muscle memory, right? And that's fine, but sometimes better to help your brain out a little bit better is to add something else into that. So like hiking and running through hike trails is really good because your brain is working on the coordination, it's working on best route, it's working on all those different things, and it's replenishing and producing more healthy brain cells. Or cycling, again, you're working on balance and not just a forward movement of doing something. Ballroom dancing even, or any type of dancing, includes the coordination and the rhythm along with the physical aspect of it, the physical exercise. So those are all best brain workouts for you when you're exercising. But anything that you do that's good for the heart is also going to be good for the brain. So like aerobic exercise, they say, is like the first aid kit for damaged brain cells, because you are doing so much activity, and then also working on the coordination and strategy and things like that. They say morning exercise is the best as well. It increases retention of new information, and it gives you better reactions to complex situations that you may come across in your day. So if you are able to work out in the morning or go running in the morning or do any type of exercise in the morning, it's going to be better for your day. And I already talked about that the coordination and your increase of heart rate is always better. It's going to have a higher impact on your cognitive functioning if you have both pieces in there. And they say if you're crunched for time, like if you've got 15 minutes or 20 minutes to do more of circuit workouts where your attention span is being drawn into many different ways, that's going to be better for your brain and your exercise. Right? So there's kind of the why and the what it does, exercise does for us and why we do it. But the oil side of it, right? So we use different oils to help us exercise a little bit better. We use different oils to help our body react to our exercise a little bit better. And that's great. Like the physical aspect of the essential oils is great. Like the Deep Blue. The Deep Blue is really good for it's a soothing blend. So it's kind of like the Bengay of things. That's really good to help replenish some muscles, sore muscles, and help that better. And doTERRA has it also in a nice little roller too for you. And AromaTouch, same thing. Physically, it's great. It's the massage blend, and that's really good for the muscles and the joints. The Deep Blue is really good for the joints as well. My mom uses the Deep Blue Complex, the pills, comes in pill form, for her arthritic knee, and she doesn't have any more pain or anything in her knee any longer. I like to mix both of them together, the AromaTouch and the Deep Blue, into a roller, and put that roller on whatever part of the body that's hurting or the sore muscles as well. Like my runner's knee that I had a couple of years ago. I used that before. I put this on my knee and on the back of my knee before I would go running. And then after my shower, I would put some on too. And it completely restored my knee. And I no longer have pain in my knee when I run. But the emotion side of it, so you're getting these oils in the body to help damaged cells or stressed cells from your exercise, right? But the emotional side of it, the emotion side of the oils is going directly into your limbic system of the brain. The limbic system has a direct route from your smell cells. So what you're smelling goes directly to the limbic system. And the limbic system is the oldest part of the brain. It governs your emotions, it governs your behavior, it governs your long-term memory. So that particular part of the brain is going to be most benefited from the scent of the smells and the oil getting into that part of the brain. It feeds into the hippocampus. Again, the hippocampus is the part of the brain that feeds into the amygdala, and the amygdala is your emergency mode. It's your fight, flight, freeze mode. So you want to try to I'm showing you my hand because that's what I do with my kids in class. This is your brain. But the hippocampus is, you want to keep that safe and have some really good memories in there to keep your amygdala safe and know when it's an emergency and when it's not an emergency, right? So your feelings of depression, of fear, of anger, of happiness, of joy, all of your feelings you're feeling, anxiety, those originate all in your limbic lobe. And the oils that we're using for exercise are affecting the emotions too, because it's going into that limbic system. So the emotions that these oils that we're using for our exercise, what they help kind of correlate also to how they help our body physically. So the Deep Blue that I dropped it almost. The Deep Blue that I showed you earlier, it's the soothing blend, it's the oil of surrendering pain. So this oil is going to give you strength to face emotional wounds that you may have. It's going to allow wounds to surface and come to the surface for transformation and healing. They always say, don't bottle up your feelings, don't keep them all buried inside, don't bury them. You need to expose them. You need to get them out and release them somehow, because if you don't, your body will release them for you. And sometimes it's painful and it's not easy. And you would be better off releasing them healthily and in the way that they're supposed to be released. So the Deep Blue oil is helping that. It's allowing them to surface and transform for some healing. All right. And then the Aroma Touch is the massage blend. And naturally, that helps with the relaxation of your emotions. It offers comfort in times of grief and sorrow. So it's offering that relaxing feeling that we have. My dog is something else today. Sorry. The Aroma Touch moves individuals from stiffness of the heart and mind to openness and flexibility. So that's what it's doing for your muscles too, right? It's massaging your muscles. It's kind of releasing some of that tension, but it's also your emotions. It's moving the stiffness of heart, like the, what do you call it? Stubbornness, right? The stubbornness to being more open and flexible to some thoughts and ideas and other emotions that you may be hindering. And that's why you should also use the Deep Blue, right? Put them together. Breathe is another one we use for exercise to help us breathe better while we're exercising, opening up the airways in our lungs and in our breathing passages. It's the respiratory blend, but it's the oil of breath, naturally. It encourages an individual to release grief and sadness, and it assists in receiving back genuine love and healing. Most often when we are feeling grief or sadness or some of that stubbornness, right? You kind of shy away from love or affection or any type of, not just physical affection, but emotional affection from others. And this Breathe helps you to take that breath, and it helps in receiving more love that you do need to also help heal what you're feeling, right? And doTERRA also offers that in a roller, which is super nice. I also use this with my children when they start to get really congested in the winter months. We roll it on their chest and over their heart. So it's also helping, though, to accept some more love and healing as well. Slim and Sassy, I don't have that here on my table, but Slim and Sassy is one that people tend to use when they start a new exercise routine, because it's the metabolic blend. It's helping to speed up metabolism, give you energy, help you to stay focused on whatever it is you want to stay focused on. It's the oil of inner beauty. It addresses emotional patterns which underlie and contribute to whatever it is that you are dealing with. This is the great thing I also like about Slim and Sassy, is that it releases heavy emotions which contribute to physical and emotional pounds. So what your body does when you are taking in stress, and when you are taking in bad stress, and when you're taking in discomfort, and when you're taking in all of these things, anxiety, depression, people tend to gain more weight. And that's because your body has these cells in it that contain that negative, that depression, that badness. And so your body tries to heal it, tries to protect itself, and it does that by forming fat cells around it. And that's where the gaining weight comes in. So the Slim and Sassy is helping to release those heavy emotions that you're feeling and help you move past that, right? It's helping so that your body isn't collecting that fat around it to protect it from the badness, the bad cells. Which I just think is super great. Like, I love it. I also use in my new routine, I'm training for a marathon. I'm starting to use more of the DDR Prime, and I bought it in this big, huge bottle because I thought it would be more for my money, right? You can buy it in a capsule. doTERRA has it in a capsule. Man, my nose really itches today. But I wanted more for my money, obviously, and so I bought it in this, not really realizing what the taste was. It's not delicious, but it's not terrible either. So I put it in my overnight oats that I make at night, and I let it sit in the refrigerator, my overnight oats, and then in the morning I add, the crunchy granola, and I add whatever nut mixture that I have at that time. I'll add bananas, honey, peanut butter, and adding all of those things in really downplays the taste that this may have for some people. This morning I had brought some overnight oats for people to try, and with the DDR Prime in it, and a lot of people, a lot of the ones that tried it, they said it doesn't really taste that bad. It tastes pretty good, especially if you add I don't even probably add a whole tablespoon or teaspoon of honey, but yeah, so the DDR Prime, though, is the DNA repairing blend, and it's the oil of transformation. This is the business of restoring traumatized cells, stressed cells, all of those bad cells in your body and in your brain. This is restoring it, and it's like the powerhouse, I guess, is what I would call it. It's my interpretation of it. I don't think doTERRA's maybe ever said that. Maybe they have. I don't know. I haven't heard it. But that's what I would call it, because it says repairing those cells that have been damaged for whatever reason, whether it's emotional, whether it's mental, whether it's physical even. Our cells, everything that happens to us in our life, in our day, everything happens and our body takes it in some way, and it stays in our cells unless we're able to heal it, unless we're able to release it. And so the DDR Prime is the one helping a lot of that to get done and healed and finished and out, or whatever it is. So I use it in my Quick Oats. I've used it in smoothies before too. But I can still taste it more in my smoothies than I do with my overnight oats. But I really I love it. And my overnight oats helps me get those whole grains that I need for my training and running. So why not? Yeah, that's all I've got on the emotion side of our exercise for today. I may do a part B if I find more. And I, again, love the oils for the physical aspects, and the smell aspects too, of course. But I also love it for the emotion side, because I think it's superb. Get our emotions in check and balanced, and it's amazing what your body can do. All right. Thanks for joining or watching, and see you later.